Okay. Hi, YouTubers. Rebecca Roy here.
Hi, YouTubers. Pamela Tiernan here, and we are the Sisters of the Crystal Ball. And
Yay!
yay, woohoo! But anyway, I did a little channeling before we started, and I asked Mariah, "Do you have a message for us today?" And yes, she said, "The message is, I love you all so much, and I am so excited as we get closer and closer to ascension." And so then I asked her about the 3 days of darkness. And so she said that we'll be cut off, but it won't necessarily be dark. We'll be cut off from all electronics. If you get, wait a second, I recorded it. So let's see. Even if you're cut off from electronics, Becky, my sister, Rebecca, and I will still be able to channel. And we'll be happy to tell you anything we can to help you, keep you safe. And Mariah emphasizes that she wants us to stay inside the house. She said that there will be energy swirling in the universe right now, which there are already, which during the 3 days of darkness could be harmful to our human bodies. It can get into our cells and disrupt our biology. So you'll feel ill, but there won't be anything you can do about it. So just stay in the house. The energy isn't deadly, but it will put you into a lower vibration, and that will prevent you from ascending. And ascension is very near. So I want you to be ready, dear one. And this is Mariah talking. So she said, so stay inside your house and don't go out. Every minute of exposure can disrupt our biology and also decrease our vibrational state. So she said again, stay inside the house. And she said, the power of prayer is great. So anytime you feel like praying, go ahead and pray, because that is probably our best way of communicating with God, and He will give us peace and comfort. So she said also, you can connect to me at any time for more information, but remember to keep your vibration high, pray and communicate with God and the ascended masters for help. We are here for you, dear one. Please call on us during these 3 days of darkness. And she also said there will be many people who were frightened, especially people who are out on the street and the homeless. So she said, if someone comes to your door and is afraid, take them in, feed them and show them love. Even if they look like someone you wouldn't want to let into your house, let them in anyway, because we are all children of God. It is a great privilege to be able to care for the poor and needy and frightened. That is what we all need to do at this time. And that is all. So I thought that was a very, very interesting message. Um, I knew we had to stay in the house during the 3 days of darkness, but I didn't realize that. I didn't even think there will be people coming to the door, but of course there will be. They don't have any place to go.
Yeah, and it's going to be scary. And like they said, that it's going to change their DNA. So I would like to ask more about that when we go in and ask. And I was also wondering while you were talking, what about opening the door? Because it said don't go out. So when you open the door, doesn't that let that energy in?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if it's from the energy is coming from the sun. So if we just open the door, a little crack or something, if there's someone there, fortunately, I have a window in my door so I can see who it is. But,
Yeah,
it just says open your door. If there's someone outside that needs to come in, open the door. And I think
right.
that's directly from God. Open the
Yeah,
door and let them in.
yeah,
So
I would anyways.
yeah, that's what we need to do. And I would just grab them by the arm and pull them in.
Get
Come
in
on,
here.
guys.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I
my cats are
know.
gonna go nuts. They're gonna be like, it's morning. I'm supposed to be able to spend the day outside. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, my cat will be so upset. He'll be roaring all day long. He has the loudest, most plaintive cry when he wants to go out.
Yeah, that's
Oh
the way
well.
Silky is too. And his whole face is involved in the meow. It's his entire face is like meow. And it's like you can't even see his eyes. He's just like, get me
Yeah,
out of here. Yeah.
yeah.
And the
Rascal is
other,
like that too.
yes. Yeah, Jack is very, suave about it. I'd like to go out now, please. So yeah, he doesn't do that, but Snooky is very demanding. I wanted to discuss how to connect and to God and how to pray, because a lot of times when we pray, um, we say what it is that we want to say, but then we don't, give God a chance to say what he wants to, or she wants to say, depending how you think about the Lord, to say what they want to say. We just say our thing and then we say amen and we go to sleep. But when you connect into your higher consciousness, and then you go into the three Christ conscious chakras, and then you go into the void. When you go into the void, you need to go into your breath and bring your breath down into your heart center. And then just every time you breathe in, you're going to breathe in and you're going to visualize your soul in your heart center expanding into the nothing, expanding into the void. And there's nothing there. You're nothing and everything all at once. But when you first get there, it's nothing. So you're in the void and you're just waiting and you're just breathing and you're not thinking. And if thoughts come, you just kind of push them aside like they're a cloud. Psh, nope. And you push it aside and you just stay in that harmony and in that balance. And you just stay there and continue to just feel the love and breathe and love. I like to say, in God's love, out God's love, in God's love, out God's love. And then you will connect to God and you'll say, God, I've been thinking about this and I'd really appreciate your help. And you tell him what you've been thinking about. And then you wait. Then you wait and you wait for them to answer. And he does. And it's an amazing, amazing time. And a lot of people don't realize that if you're quiet long enough, God will talk to you. And my sister is very connected to God and she talks to God all the time. I talk to God and have talked to God since I was a child. Um, but for whatever reason, when I'm at the end of my rope, it's usually Yeshua or Archangel Michael that comes to my rescue. But in my sister's case, when she was at the pinnacle of her despair, it was God that came to her. And it was because she told him what she needed to say, and then she waited, and then he came.
Yes, that's right. And he does come, and there's no mistaking it when it's God. They don't say this is God. He just talks to you. And so such an honor and privilege and so amazing to me that God would actually speak to me, you know?
Yeah, but that's when you learn how to love, because God
Mhm,
comes into you and he loves you like no one's ever loved you. And
mhm.
you cannot believe anything can love you this much, because like you love him that much, or her, you love Jesus that much. But it never occurs to us in this human duality that someone could love us that much. And when they come in with that much love, that's why you should always open your heart chakra 6 feet in all directions, because it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. The first time that God came through when I was doing readings for people, I had push record. It was recording just fine. It never occurred to me that it wouldn't record him. When that energy comes in at that high vibration, it does not record. It messes up all of the electronics. It doesn't record.
Mm.
So I had the beginning where God wasn't there, and I had the end when God wasn't there. But the part where God was there, it did not record. And the funny part was when he came in the first time, I was so excited. I was like, holy shit, it's God. And God says, holy shit, who wants shit? It's holy, holy God. And he starts laughing. Right? And I'm like, she's never going to believe me. I'm talking in my own head. She's never going to believe me. You'll have to spell out God, because I was on the pendulum. And so he says, okay, I can spell God, G-O-D. I said, no, with the pendulum, please, with the pendulum. And I mean, this is the kind, he's got a sense of humor. God has a sense of humor.
He
So
does. It
you
is
don't
so
think about it.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't think about that, but he does. He has this huge sense of humor.
Well, the last time we talked, I was kind of recalcitrant. I didn't want to do what God wanted me to do. I was tired. It was late at night. And he came in and said, I want you to do this with me. And I was like, no, I don't know what my problem is. I was like, what am I saying? And so
I'm saying no to
he,
God.
he kind of cajoled me like, my father used to get me in, to do what he wanted. And at the end, I swear he almost gave me a noogie before he went away. So
Oh
we
my
have a
gosh.
mission now. That's
Yes.
great.
And it's awesome. It's awesome. Working for God is my favorite thing to do. It really
Yes,
is.
it is.
Because you're so full of love. You're so full of love. And all you want to do is pass that love on to whoever it is that he's having you work with. And you're just this huge conduit, and it's just flowing through you and out of you and through you and out of you. And some of it is for you, and some of it is for them, or some of it is for the planet. It just depends on what it is that he's having you do.
Yeah.
So it is just an amazing, amazing feeling. And the other thing that we wanted to talk about is the solar flare, the solar flash, because a lot of people don't know what the solar flash is. And I didn't really know what it was. I mean, we talk about it in our enlightenment group, but um, to be honest with you, I never actually looked it up. And my son, who's a scientist, um, he told me that we had the biggest solar flare that we've had in our lifetime just the other day, last week. And so I wanted to read to you what Google has to say about the solar flare because it got both of us thinking about different things. And so when we do go in to channel and channel our crystal balls, we want to ask about, the 3 days of darkness, the questions that we just had come up, and about the solar flare and how are they related? Okay. A large solar flare recently erupted from the sun, reaching an X 1.9 intensity, according to NASA science. This event, categorized as a strong flare, is capable of impacting radio communications, navigation systems, and potentially posing risks to spacecraft and astronauts. The flare also resulted in radio blackouts across various regions. What is a solar flare? Solar flares are intense bursts of electromagnetic radiation released from the sun's surface, often associated with sunspots. X-class flares. These are the strongest type of solar flare, with X representing the highest intensity level. Impact on Earth. While solar flares do not directly harm humans on Earth, they can disrupt technology like radio communications, GPS signals, and so on. The increased ionization in the atmosphere caused by the flare can interfere with high frequency radio waves. Recent event. The recent X 1.9 flare was a significant event, with reports of radio blackouts in different parts of the world. Geomagnetic storms. Solar flares can also lead to geomagnetic storms, which are disturbances in Earth's magnetic field. So the other day when that happened, my friends lost electricity, they lost their Wi-Fi. It was crazy. And all I could think about was, it's here. This is the 3 day of darkness. And then you just channel the 3 day of darkness. So I'm wondering if we're going to have another even bigger than the X 1.9 solar flare that's going to throw us into the 3 days of darkness.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and she said it was imminent.
Yeah.
Mariah did.
Yeah. So I would love to channel. And we decided that I was going to go first and then you were going to go second. And I got my little crystal ball right here, but I'm going to keep that there. Oh, and that painting, you can't read it, but it says, "Call me, kiddo, love God." And then he connects to heaven and calls God.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So the last time I connected, I put my head on it. my forehead. So I'm gonna try that again. See if I can get anything. I have to push this. I know, right? I'm seeing the darkness. She's showing me it's spreading across the earth. The powers that be that do not want your ascension to happen because they know that they are losing control of you. They understand that you are breaking free. They understand that you are no longer to be enslaved by their fear and propaganda that they are spreading across. There is a vast amount of you that are awakening, and they do not like the amount of people that are awakening. They honestly thought that it would be far less than it is. It is a good number of people, and because of this, you are on a trajectory to be able to ascend and see across the veil. They are trying to do every single thing that they can possibly do to prevent this. And this is why they are taking the opportunity of the solar flare that will cause 3 days of darkness. The 3 days of darkness is 3 days with no electricity, 3 days with no telecommunications, 3 days with no Wi Fi. It is an opportunity for you to be able to bring forth word your 5D selves. Bring your 5D selves forward. Bring the love forward. Bring the love into your life and into those that are around you. Do not worry, do not fear. The fear is what they feed on. You do not want to fear, but you do not want to go outside. And they will be pumping things into the atmosphere that you cannot see, just as they put things into the vaccinations for COVID. They will try to do the same thing with the solar flash. But if you stay inside and do not interact on the outside, you will not be affected. Make sure that you have 3 days worth of food and water. Stockpile yourself with some dry goods and some water that you will be able to drink, and your family will have plenty to drink and eat and not have to worry about going outside. We understand that it is difficult for you to keep everything inside, but you must keep everything inside, even your animals. Rebecca asked about opening the door to allowing someone that is knocking on the door in. If you quickly open the door and then close it, then you should be okay. But do not linger with the door open. Otherwise, it will give too much time to allow the forces that be that want to stop you. If you are a powerful person and you are well known, then you have been placed in different areas in which we want you to be able to work. But we have also hidden you in places that are not highly populated. And so, therefore, you should be more protected. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, that's very cool. I
Yeah.
don't think I could be any more isolated than where I live, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. I'm very isolated
It's
too.
a very teeny tiny town on the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
But so many beautiful people live here. I can't believe just it's a beautiful place to live with beautiful people all around. I just love it here.
Yeah. I live in Maine, so, and they told me I wanted to move from Maine. And they told me I had to stay here for a bit longer.
Well, that's okay.
We might end up buying a house here because I don't want to stay in this house. So
No.
it is possible that we'll end up buying a house here, but it just depends on humanity, on how many people on a day-to-day basis think in the 5D and
Mhm.
moment to moment. And if we can manage to get people to think in a higher dimension, the majority of us that are awakening, then I will be able to move out of the state. But if not, then I'll have to stay here for a year or two.
Mhm. Well, that wouldn't be the worst thing. All
No,
your grandchildren are there.
yeah,
Well, most of them anyway.
yeah, but if I'm in 5D, I'm taking them with me.
All right.
I'm not leaving Ben behind. I'm sorry.
Is that a choice?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
because
I
we've
didn't
already
know
talked
that.
about it, and Ben's like, I'm in. Well,
So you
Marty
can't,
already lives in Boston.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Not the highest vibrational city on earth, that's for sure, though.
No, but he's living in Duxbury, so it's not a very big place.
No, I've never been there.
It's right on the ocean. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's like you. You know, he looks out his window and he sees the ocean.
Wow. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool. So,
Yep.
and you know, who knows what's going to happen in September if the VA renews his contract, then he'll stay, and if he doesn't, they don't renew his contract, then he'll go back to his home in Wilton. So,
Yeah.
because he didn't sell it, so he still has that.
Yeah, I love that house. It's so beautiful.
It is. It is. It's a gorgeous house.
It
And
is.
he has enough wood working stuff to build a city.
That's right.
I've never seen so much equipment and so much wood that wasn't a business. I honestly never have. I mean, he could earn a living that way. My son is an incredible artist. So he could make furniture, which is what he wants to do. And I've seen some of the furniture he's made. He's made these gorgeous desks with all this scroll work in it. And,
Nice.
you know, he could do that. He could make, you know, really beautiful. He made some doors the last place he lived. He made
Wow.
doors. He made doors for his friends. They bought these houses. They're like, I don't like this door. And my son's like, I'll make your door.
Yeah, I don't like my doors either. For some reason, our house was built in 1915. And so it has fireplaces on every level, even in the garage, which was in the basement.
Yeah.
And the doors have an inch underneath each one of them. And I'm not sure if that's for air circulation or, whatever they were using for heat. Maybe it was wood. I don't know. But that must be what it's for because I've never seen a house where the doors are like, there's this much space between the door and the floor.
Can't you get one of those things that are like they slant like this and they screw into the door so that they're slanted
Oh,
and
yeah.
have insulation and it's rubber on the bottom. So when you open the door, it doesn't mess up your floor.
That would ruin the character of the house, I've been told.
Oh, well, it would definitely put your heat bill down.
Hmm, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
we actually replaced our doors and did that because our heat bill was just ridiculous because we were losing all this heat out the door.
Yeah, well, the doors to the outside are like that, but the doors inside aren't. Yeah, if the doors to the outside were like that, my goodness, we'd be cold all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
they're the inside doors.
These are the inside doors, like the bedroom doors, the kitchen doors. They all have that big space between the floor and the door.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. If it was the outside, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah,
But
you'd
it
have
isn't.
to change it for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
For sure, for sure.
Doesn't get that cold in this part of Oregon. It's very seldom below 40 degrees,
Yeah.
which is really good. I'm not a fan of the cold or the heat for that matter. I don't know how you guys stand it.
You lived here almost your whole life. You know how I stand it. We we
I lived
we
on the
eat
coast
and
though. It
complain.
wasn't as hot as it is inland. Mandy said it was 107 today.
And Maine never was like that when we were kids.
No,
We were lucky if we got
no.
75.
We don't even get snow anymore in Maine. Well, on the coast, we used to get ice.
We do. It's not, it like comes up to like your ankle and then it just
Yeah.
get piled up. with the
Mhm.
snow plows, but
Yeah.
it's never enough to have any fun with. It used to be you could
Yeah.
slide, you could go snowmobiling, you could go skiing, all those industries are really suffering.
Yeah. You can't even make a decent snowball anymore, really.
Yeah, well, you can make a decent snowball, but you can't, they used to
Not
make,
on the coast.
we used to make snow forts and my kids made snowmen and my,
Yeah.
my three boys, they used to make little ice cities.
Wow.
They take these square plastic boxes and make igloo shaped, and then they take the hose and water them down, and they'd have
Oh,
this
wow.
whole thing they could walk through, and yeah, crazy stuff. But neat, but you know, they really liked the cold. All three of my sons liked the cold. I
Yeah.
never liked the cold, but they like to play out. I liked to play out there when I was a kid, but not I don't think I went to the extent that they did.
No, Michael was like the ice man. He used to go out in just a shirt and play hockey all afternoon, and he was never cold. Never, never, never.
Yeah. That's like Kira, my granddaughter.
Yeah.
She wears shorts all year. It's like, Kira, put some clothes on. I'm hot, Grammy. Leave me alone.
Oh, no. Well, I
Okay.
was never like that.
Yeah.
It's always freezing.
Okay, so let's discuss the message that I just received.
Okay.
So they said that we can open the door quickly. So I guess you're right. We're gonna be yanking them in the house. Get in here.
Whoever it may be.
But
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. What about the dog? Because I have to let her out to go to the bathroom,
Oh, that's right.
but I can't. So what am I gonna do?
I don't know. I would get some chucks and just put them down and let her go to the bathroom on those inside the house. Ugh, it
Yeah,
sounds stinky.
it's like reverse training.
Yes. Yeah, it's not going to be convenient by any means, that's for sure.
No, it's not. But I have plenty of water and I have dry food. Mike keeps wanting me to
Mhm.
eat it. I'm like, no, that's for when the 3 days of darkness come. Well, you
Do you
have all
think?
this stuff to make. Let's make it. You don't need to be bringing more stuff home. I'm
Yeah,
like, this is for the 3 days of darkness. You don't understand. He's like, yeah,
yeah,
well, it ever gets here. You've been talking about it for a year or two now. But
yeah.
yeah, we have, but that's angel time, and that's what people don't understand. Is
Yeah,
angel time changes with the way that we think. So we have thoughts every moment of every day change what's going to happen. So you may be on this timeline over here, and then, oh, we got to tell them about the 3 days of darkness. But then everybody starts thinking very 3D. And so then it goes even farther backwards.
yeah. And 3 days goes up and they'll go, oh, that was a bunch of malarkey or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is going to happen because we've been hearing about it for so long. So eventually it's going to happen and we need to
Yeah.
be prepared. And I was also told that we need to fill our bathtubs because we won't be able to flush our toilets.
Oh,
Because so we'll need to fill our bathtub so we can, get a bucket of water or whatever it is and just pour it in the toilet and it will flush. But that could be bad after 3 days of not being able to flush your toilet. So filling the
yeah.
bathtubs is a very good idea.
I was wondering too, you have these Jewish symbol things that you put on your doors to protect you from evil spirits. What are those called again?
Mezuzahs,
How do you spell that?
Muzzazuhs. I'm not sure. I would have to look it up.
Yeah,
But
Google it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they are. They protect you. You're coming in and going out. And there's a little
So
prayer that goes with it.
what was going to happen with Howard? Because he's a doctor.
I don't know. I don't know at all. And he's very dedicated, so I don't know what he will decide to do. But I think if he decides he's going out, that God will protect him because he's going out on a mission for others and for God. So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully he'll be protected.
Well, it's the same thing with Mike because he owns a grocery
Mhm.
store. And it's not a big grocery store, it's a little grocery store. However, it is a grocery store, and he is going to feel like I need to be there for the people that didn't prepare for this so I
Right.
can give
Yeah.
them some food.
Right. It's going to be tricky. But I think they're pretty clear that going outside or even opening your door for more than 3 seconds is going to be detrimental to our health, without
So
a doubt.
I would like you to ask Mariah about that, because us didn't cover that.
Okay, Mariah, what will happen to the people that need to go out in service to the rest of humanity, like doctors and grocers who want to treat patients? I mean, there'll be a lot of people that are just in hysterics about this.
Plus, the
And
people that are outside, if they're gonna get sick,
yes, they will.
this is gonna be a pandemic.
So what is going to happen to those people who have to go out to tend to the sick or make sure that people have food? How are they going to be protected, or what is going to happen to them, Mariah? I want to connect with Mother Gaia because Mariah is part of Mother Gaia. So, Mariah says that God will spread a veil of protection over these people who go outside in service to humanity, and that they will be protected and they will not be harmed by the rays that are coming down. But anyone else who goes outside will not be protected and will be harmed. What was the other half of the question?
Um, the dog, can I let the dog out to go to the bathroom?
My sister wants to know if she can let the dog out to go to the bathroom. She says, yes, of course, but only open the door for a second for the dog to come in and out, and the dog may be harmed by the rays.
Well, then how can I let her out?
Well, you shouldn't probably. You need to
Can't,
get some, that's what, like puppy pads or something like that, that they sell in Walmart.
yeah, yeah, I'll get some puppy pads.
Yeah, because I don't know what else you can do, but she said you could open the door for a nanosecond, but the dog could be harmed by the rays.
Yeah, my dog's already 14, so I don't want to push her. I want to keep her as long
No.
as I can.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We love our animals, don't we?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Rascal will try to get out because he's such a rascal. Every time the door opens, he just bolts out of there like a light bolt of lightning. He just
I know
loves
that's what it
being
is with
outside.
Snooky, because he wants to go out at night, and I won't let him out at night
Oh
because
yeah.
he's black. So I'm worried that it's dark and they can't see him. And I bought him this little collar that's like neon, like putting a little vest on him or something.
Oh yeah, Rascal has one of those.
He gets it off every time. So I don't have any choice. You can't go out because you like to lay in the street. He likes to
Yeah,
lay in the street and roll around.
that's the same thing with Rascal. What? I guess the street is warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has to be, but geez. Sometimes I watch him and a car will go by and he'll just roll over as the car goes by next to him and his fur will like blow around. Every time he goes out, I say, stay out of the road, buddy. And every time I
Yeah.
go out there, he's in the road.
Well, I asked Archangel Ariel to protect them,
Yes,
and she
that's a
does.
very
She
good
does. She
idea.
protects them and she brings them back. She brings them home.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
Archangel
my
Michael.
yeah. Just ask her. Can you keep my kitty out of the road? She will.
I don't think anybody can keep our kitties out of the road.
Oh, she will. I
Yes,
asked her to do that, and
that's
I
good.
haven't seen Snooky in the road for a while, but he does bolt across the road, and he doesn't look. So when I
No.
get him, I'm looking him in the face. He doesn't like it when you face to face. He always wants to keep his butt in the face, but not face to face. And
Right.
So I'm holding him and going, you need to look both ways. Look, look. And then he'll be like,
Leave me alone.
tell me what to
Yeah,
do. He's
he is
very
like that
independent.
too.
Yeah.
But I do think he's divinely protected because he comes in, and when he comes in for dinner around 4 o'clock, and he wants to go right back out. And if anybody opens the door, he is the fastest cat in the West. He can get
Yeah.
out that door in a half a nanosecond, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I stopped, you know, barking at my family about that. But what I do is I let them out until 7,
Mhm.
7:30, because it's as it gets into the summer, it stays lighter longer.
Yeah.
Um, so as it stays lighter longer, he'll get to stay out longer. But then Mike comes home about 7. He likes to hide behind the couch because there's this little
Oh,
space.
sure. Yeah.
And then as soon as Mike opens the door, out he goes. So what I've decided to do is come 7 o'clock, because Mike's like 7:05, like clockwork. So I'll put Snooky in my lap and I'll be petting him, and then Mike will come in and you're not going anywhere, buddy.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I guess Howard comes in through the garage, so it's downstairs, and so he doesn't even open any of the doors. Otherwise, Rascal would be out there in a flash.
I gotta let Jack in. Hold on. Click on. Okay. So my cat came home at 4:58 because it's time to eat. It's time for supper. He's laying on the table looking at me like, Mom, I want my food.
Yes, Rascal always comes in after the mob walk. That's when my friends and I get together in the afternoon and go for a walk in the neighborhood. It is so cool. I
Yeah.
can't believe we moved into a neighborhood with people all about the same age that like to go for a walk at around 3:30 in the afternoon. It is so
That's
much fun.
awesome.
Yeah, and
And
they're the best friends ever too.
yeah, I met a couple of them. They're very nice ladies.
Mm,
Um, we moved into a neighborhood that my husband actually grew up in. So he
really?
knows all these people that are all these elderly people. I shouldn't say that because I'm 61, so I'm an old person too. But anyways, and then the people that are right directly across the street are our age and have grandkids and dogs and cats and
Oh
so
yeah, I've
much in
seen them.
common. And we'll all go out and walk the dog together, and we'll all gather in a circle, and because there's Mark and Rick and Sue and Jackie and me and Mike and Katie, and we'll all just we're all huddled in a little talk circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have this thing in the city where I live called the Wine Walk, and it's the first Friday of every month. And we go down and have dinner at this little bar. And then you go to the Chamber of Commerce and pay $10, and they give you a little tiny glass. And you walk to these businesses. It gets you to go into these businesses and find out what they have in there, but they give you a little splash of wine in the bottom of your cup. And it's really, really fun. We have such a good time looking at stuff, and going to all these shops and things like that. But I've never heard of any other town that actually does that, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, I liked it. When I went and visited you, we caught the tail end of it. And
Yeah,
then I got to meet your friends, and they were in this restaurant that also has live music. And her friend's husband was in the band, and it was
yeah.
really good band, and it's kind of music I like, not this not stuff that you normally hear, but it was kind of like rock and roll, but then not rock and roll.
Yeah, they do a lot of sea shanties and just old folk songs and Irish songs, and they're really fun. They just put a lot of, heart into it in life, and they're just really, really fun. And the
Yeah,
lead singer called me Red.
yeah,
It's pretty hilarious.
yeah, I think it is
I,
too.
I think he may be in his 70s. Just the right age.
Yeah, it's just the right age for you guys.
Yeah, really.
Perfect.
It's so cute, though. We have
Yeah,
a
it
good
is.
time in this town. I'm glad we left Maine because we didn't have, on the street where we lived, we had two friends. And it was
Yeah,
like a huge neighborhood. And in this little tiny neighborhood, we have 7 or 8 friends that we
yeah,
walk with every day. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to move out of this house because I don't like this house. But I love my
Mm,
neighborhood. I really do.
yeah,
I have a bunch of really good friends that really care about us and we care about them and we watch out for each other. And,
exactly. Yeah.
and it matters. Like when my
Yeah.
grandkids come over, they play with Rick's grandkids because Rick's grandkids are an awful lot like your kids, like your boys, how they'd get up early in the morning and put the hockey goals out. And so they have the goal at one end of the driveway and goal at the other end of the driveway and all day long. They're playing hockey. And now that the ice is gone, they're still out there all day long
Yeah. We're playing
playing
street
hockey, but with
hockey.
a ball.
Yeah, exactly. And all the windows get broken, but you don't replace them. They're just gonna get broken again. I don't think we had any windows in our garage for like, I don't know, 10 years anyway.
Yeah,
No big deal.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's just like when, we had five brothers and they were all athletes, but
That's one.
yeah, except for one. I forget about Timothy not being an athlete. But yeah, except for one. And my brother Sean was just always doing stuff that busted down. Like driving the car through the garage.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Michael drove the car through the garage. Also, Michael was the worst driver when he first started to learn to drive. He drove up on people's lawns in New York. I think he took his driver's test. Don't tell him I told you this like 5 times. And he couldn't pass. He was the worst driver of all time. And now he's a really good driver. But when he was a teenager, wow, it was unbelievable. I think he drove the car through the garage maybe twice. That was in Cape Elizabeth where we had that gigantic garage door that was 3 inches thick.
God.
Did a little damage to the car.
Sean got the brake and the gas mixed up and went in through the garage door and then out the other side, but there was a big heavy fence at the end. So
Yeah,
that's what stopped him.
yeah,
And
I remember that.
um, yeah, and Sean went and hid in his room. Me and mom were standing on the porch talking about how we were gonna tell dad. And I'm like, Mom, he's gonna drive home and see the car through the garage.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt
There's no
about it.
telling him he's gonna see it. And then he's gonna kill us all.
Exactly. I don't think I would have hidden my room. I would have gone to Timbuktu or something if I were Sean. Too
I
easy to
know.
find when you're in your room. But I mean, what
Oh,
can you
yeah.
do? What you didn't do it on purpose, of
Yeah,
course.
all the things that Sean did, I don't think he got in trouble for that. I think Dad had some
No,
sympathy actually,
I
but
can
he made him
imagine.
pay for it. He made him pay for it. He had to fork
Yeah,
over the bucks.
yeah,
He was old enough. He had a job, so
yeah, yeah. That's the way it went. But also, the car had quite a bit of damage to it as well.
yeah, the insurance covered that.
Oh, that's good. I mean, he was on such a high insurance rate too because he drove into that car that was parked when he was talking to his friends. Remember that?
Yes, I forgot
Oh
about that.
my gosh,
I
yes.
hope they don't watch these episodes.
We won't tell them about them.
Oh my God, they're always talking about us.
Well, it's a good topic of conversation.
Yes, they're
Very
fun.
interesting. Yeah,
Yes.
well, fun. Yeah, fun.
For us, we weren't in trouble.
That's right. I never drove a car through a garage.
No, no, I never did either. But it's so weird because I was the baby and you were the oldest. Well, Michael's the only one older than you, but still, you were the older girl. And I would watch the boys do stuff and get in trouble. And then the next younger boy would run over and do the same damn thing. And I'd be sitting there going, I'm not doing that.
No way.
I'm not gonna get in trouble for that. That's stupid.
Well,
I
our
never
father used to
understood
go
that.
crazy with his eyes would bulge out of his head, his face would turn purple, and he'd explode.
Back in his
I,
head.
I did not want to see that. I used to go in my room when he was angry because I couldn't stand it. He was just like a volcano that was erupting. It was scary.
It was fine. You
What?
might miss supper because nobody will come and tell you you're okay. You can come down.
I
But
wouldn't
the
have
next
dared
day,
anyway.
all was forgiven. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, Dad. once he was over his original rage, he was okay. But my gosh, it was scary when he was angry. I could not deal with it. So I used to go in my room and hide. So did
Yeah,
you.
I did.
Since we were in the same room, I saw
Yeah,
you in there
we were both
hiding.
hiding.
Yes,
Yeah, we were both hiding. We were like, oh no, I'm not doing that.
I don't want to
Stay up
see
here.
this.
We're safer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was usually a lot of noise, and that was about it.
Yeah. But I
But
don't want to make our father out to be not a good man because he was a very good man. We had a really good dad that loved us a lot and he protected us
yeah, he
and kept
was.
us safe. And,
Yeah,
he
he
was,
was a lot of fun. He used to play with us,
yeah.
which was
And he
really
taught us
fun.
principles and loyalty and,
Yes,
things that you want your kids to be.
exactly. And he was Irish. He exploded, and then it was over.
Yeah. And then
So,
mom was Scottish. So, I mean, we got a double dose of fury.
well, she wasn't really. She was icily furious, and she would
Yes.
talk to you, and
Yeah, she'd ice you out. And it's like, can you please talk to me? And then she slam the door, slam, slam. I'll never forget when Dad put those cupboards in that didn't slam,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, and she's like,
I grew up and I slammed doors when we lived in Maine. And one time I slammed the door so hard that all the paint flew off.
really needed a paint job.
I guess so it did afterward. Wow. Oh, I was very angry that day, but slamming the door is a lot better than slamming other things. So
Yeah, yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
That was his calling, and God only knows what's going on. He's
Yes,
got a huge gang of kids, so. But I think that we covered everything,
I think
and
we did.
we answered the questions that we had. Hopefully, we've answered the questions you had.
Mhm. Yep.
Um,
But if you have any other questions, please submit them in the comments.
yes, please do. And if you have a question that you would like to know, that isn't related to the 3 Days of Darkness and the Flash, you can put that in there too, and we'll make a YouTube about that. We'll channel it
Absolutely.
for you. Yeah. And don't forget, we wanted to do it live, but we can't because we don't have 100 subscribers. So we don't even have 50 subscribers. So if you want to pass this around and share with everybody and get us up to 100, we can do it alive. But if not, on Saturday, on the 28th, we're going to post a "So You Were Burned at the Stake" meditation. And it's actually a party because when it ends, it takes you into your oasis and you will be there with the ascended masters and archangels, and maybe your deceased relatives will come too. And they'll celebrate the fact that you have released this fear, released this pain, released all these things out of you from being tortured for having gifts in other lifetimes. And because of that, you will have keys revealed to you that you now can give to other people to help them on their ascension, but your gifts will also be released. So, you know how my sister and I have our clairs and they're all activated and we use them. You'll be able to have some clairs activated and you'll be able to use them. Because even if you weren't burned at the stake, maybe you had the clairs, but you were too afraid to use them because you saw your sister be burned at the stake or your mother be burned at the stake. So you're terrified to use them. And maybe in this lifetime, like I was, your family was afraid of them, and so they didn't let you use them. So there's always reasons for you to have these blockages, and these blockages can cause you to pick the wrong mate. They can cause you to not be able to generate a good income. They can cause you to be in depression or even anxiety or your social skills may be messed up. All these blockages can cause many, many, many problems for you. And that's what this is all about, is to release that and bring those gifts back.
So who is going to be in this party, just so that we can tell everybody what's going to happen?
Okay, so my sister is going to do Reiki, And then Missy, my friend from Energy Alchemist, she's going to alchemize the energy, and she's also a healer. So she's going to send healings throughout the meditation, and you're going to hear a piece from her. And then Casey, who's from Energy Alchemist, and she also has her own YouTube channel. She's called Casey Eileen. She does light language, and this is going to come in and bring light codes and God codes in and healing codes. And I'm going to write, I've written the meditation because I channeled it. So, and this is off the top of my head, so I might forget somebody, but I channeled Yeshua along with Mary, Mother Mary, and Mary Magdalene. And then Saint Germain came in with Lady Portia. Pele is going to be assisting my sister with the healing of the people on the earth and the planet when she does her Reiki. Archangel Michael is there. Archangel Raphael is there. Archangel Zadkiel is there because he has a blue violet flame, and he has other things that he brings forward. And we can make little shorts about the angels to help you to know who they are. And at the party, Kuan Yin wants to come because she loves to dance and help you to dance and help you. She's an ascended master, and she will bring forward all that motion of the energy, and she'll move it through your body in a way that will release it in a very magical way. And I will make a short about her so that you know who she is. And Athena and Isis want to come in because Athena and Isis are a couple of goddesses that follow Casey. And Athena actually follows me as well. And of course, Mother Gaia is going to be there. And have I left anybody out, Pam?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. And we've invited our father and our mother and our grandparents and our brother because they're on the other side, and you can do the same thing. And then it ends with us going into our oasis. And my oasis is a beautiful grassy area with a waterfall and flowers and trees and gorgeous, just beautiful everywhere. And there's elementals there. There's dragons and unicorns and Pegasus and fairies and sprites and just all kinds of really fun elementals there to bring you joy, because that's what they like to do, is bring joy. And they're very magical, and I love magic. So that's what mine looks like. But you can make yours look any way that you want to have yours look. How does your oasis look, Pam? What does it look like?
Well, mine, I think, is an undersea one in the Caribbean. We used to go there every wintertime when we lived on the East Coast. And we used to go swimming, snorkeling with the fishes and everything else. And one time our guide brought some fish food. And when she threw out the fish food, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these beautiful tropical fish came. And so that's what I'm going to envision. And also the sea turtles swimming around. And it's just so warm, and the water is warm. It feels just like a bath. So that's where I'm going to go.
That sounds wonderful.
It is.
Yeah. Maybe you'll have mermaids.
Maybe. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd
So
love that.
it can be whatever you want it to be, whatever you want. It's just your happy place.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do, and we hope that you come in and see our meditation and use it to help you to clear all of your pain away and bring your gifts in and enjoy the magic of what we have created.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna send you all a big love wave. Yeah, I gotta add a kiss. Got the kiss.
Don't forget that.
Thank you for reminding me. Okay, you all have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.